insane money that I've never seen before. Like, you would tell me 20K a month. I'm like, whoa, 20K a month? What do you do with 20K? First month I made $18,000. Like, we were doing everything. Ads on Facebook, but there was no Reels on TikTok. Like, today we have it so easy.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another legendary NUGGET episode number 13 with another special guest. She's someone that inspires every female, especially in business, in the network marketing industry, someone that many people look up to. Definitely a trendsetter. We are sitting here with Afnan Khalifa. Appreciate it so much for you to come over.
Miguel, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it too. And we're going to have some talks today, some Habibi talks.
Some Habibi talks. I'm excited.
Perfect. So for the audience, for the people that don't know you yet, just like quickly introduce you. Who do you are and like how did you start business?
Yeah. My name is Afnan Khalifa. I moved from Saudi Arabia. I lived my whole life in Saudi Arabia. I moved from there when I was 18 to Canada. And we can dive into it later, but it was a very big change, right? Especially for someone that was raised in a very strict culture with a very strict country. My background, my family never expected me to work or anything. So I feel like I had it built in me that I wanted to achieve something, that I wanted to have a voice, because I never had a voice back home. Moved to Canada, and I feel like I've tried so many things in a very short period of time. And then when I found network marketing, I did not know anything about network marketing. I just saw people that looked like me and you, and they were making money and they were traveling. And I'm like, whatever this thing is, because these people, they're cute, but they don't look like crazy smart. So I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's how it really started.
I love that. So when it comes, so you were born in Saudi, lived in Saudi until 18 years old, and then came to Canada, right?
I was born in Canada.
Oh,
That's how we got the passport. That's how I was Canadian. But then lived there for like 6 months to a year. And then we went back to Saudi. 18 years in Saudi. Came back 2016 to Canada for university, yeah.
Okay, so give people like a little bit of an insight how it is like to grow up in Saudi. What have you been doing? Because like everyone knows Saudi nowadays because people start to talk about it. They're changing and stuff. But you were like, I moved to Dubai 2 years ago, and Dubai was different 2 years ago in terms of regulations and rules and how lifestyle is. But give them like an insight, like how did you feel growing up in Saudi? What did you take from it? And a little bit of insight.
Saudi today, from what I've heard, because I haven't been since 2016, I hear that it's literally becoming the new Dubai. It's very open. The rules are not the same. But when I was living there, it was very strict. Like, you can't see a man and a woman walking the street unless it's your brother, your dad, or your actual husband. Women can't really work unless you have a degree. And especially, like, I'm not Saudi, I'm originally Palestinian, so there was even more rules. Of course, they want to help their people, and I get it, I understand it, good for them, but I didn't have a lot of the privileges. Now, my dad had his company, and then problems happened where he lost his company and so on and so forth, but I was raised in a very strict country with very strict parents, extremely strict parents that, you know, I had a curfew all the time, like 7 p.m. I need to be home, I can't go out more than once a week. I need my dad to drive me anywhere because women can't drive. It was just, it's like I've never experienced anything when I was there. So I've always knew that I'm going to study university in Canada. So it's always like I'm looking forward to that day. I would have like literally dreams of like, I cannot wait to move. Although, like, Canada is not really great. Now that I've lived in it, it's like, oh, wait, Saudi actually is better.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second.
Take me back home. But I had to experience so much that I wanted to experience so much when I was in Canada, because I felt like I had a freedom to do whatever I want. And, of course, they show you in movies things that are not, like, real about North America in general. But it was hard. It was very tough. But it definitely taught me resilience, discipline. It taught me that I can really achieve anything that I want if I put my mind to it. And when I moved to Canada, it was like, I just had so much like aggression, and like, it's like almost like putting a bird in like a cage for 18 years. And then now you let the bird fly. They're freaking gonna go to like Antarctica to see what's there. And that was literally me when I left Saudi.
So was it always planned for you and like foreseen for you that you're gonna go back to Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know why? the past, I don't think I've ever talked about this, but the last 3-4 years when we were in Saudi, that's when my dad lost his business, and we went from people that were good. My dad had money. We never worried about anything. To now, my dad was not making money for 4 years. We were just spending the savings basically, and he was good with savings. So he couldn't even afford to pay like tuitions for university in Saudi. Now Canada, on the other hand, they have something called OSAP where the government pays for it and then you pay it in the future. So to him, moving to Canada, was cheaper.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
It was way cheaper. So that's why I knew, like, especially the last 4 years of living in Saudi, that I'm going to study in Canada.
So what was there like a special date set? Like, let's say, for example, you sat together at the table and it's like your parents or your father saying like, in 3 years we're going to go. Or was it like more like shit, like I understand, like from your father's side, I see that we're not going to really make it and it's easier to go to Canada and then you just like packed your stuff and left.
I just almost like felt it because my brother was already in Canada and he was studying there. And I'm like, my dad can't afford the university tuitions here in Saudi. So I knew I'm going to go there. Now he stayed there. So I left with my mom and my siblings and my brother was already in Canada. But my dad stayed for 1.5 years in Saudi to try to make the business work, and it didn't. And then he came to Canada.
Then he followed. So how was like, it's crazy because we talk about that a lot. I spend a lot of time talking to Daniels about like the Western culture and then like obviously the East culture. You've been living 18 years in this culture. Obviously Saudi, a country that is changing a lot. You just talked about it. But then coming to Canada, having the stream, coming to Canada, how was like Canada in the beginning? Besides your mental focus on you really want to make it, you're ready, like you're free, you can do your stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess you had a very humble beginning in Canada, right?
It was, first of all, it was a culture shock because I'm like, who people really think like that? And then I never knew what minimum wage was. And then they're like, well, first of all, any job in Canada, you need to have a resume. Like you need to work somewhere. But how am I going to get a resume and like jobs on my resume if every job requires that? So I had to lie on my resume. I'm like, yes, I worked in this. And then my first job was Starbucks. Didn't last because that was really hard. People think working at Starbucks is hard. It is easy. It's hard. They teach you how to make like 5 drinks in 1 minute. And I'm like...
Then people start yelling at you if you misspell their name on the cup.
Thank you. But it was very challenging because after a couple months of me being there, like I think 2-3 months, my dad called me and he's like, I can't even send you money anymore. So now it went from, like I want to be independent, I want to be an independent woman, I want to have my own job, to like, there's no choice but for you to be independent because he's not going to send you money. And he wasn't even sending crazy money. He was sending $500 a month. So it's like
bare minimum surviving.
Bare minimum, like, you can't even buy anything with that. So it was hard, but I was like, that's how my mind always worked in solutions. I'm like, okay, this is a tough situation. I can be a victim. I can cry. I can go, tell God, why me? Or I can just find a solution, go find a job. So I was applying to like probably 30 jobs a day, just everywhere. And then I got hired by Starbucks. And then from there, I was just always changing jobs because I'm like, okay, I got the experience, 2 months. Let me go to a new job. Let me learn more. Let me meet more people, because I just understood that I needed to get more experience. I needed to know more people. And I had to even leave my friends that were in university. So my first couple months in university, I met friends and they're also Arabs and they all came from the Middle East. So I was like, oh, like, you feel at home a little bit. But then they all had rich parents, so they didn't have to work. They didn't have to do anything. So I'm like, if I stay around those people, I will think that I have a rich family. When I didn't, y'all can't work. Y'all don't have to work. I need to work. You guys complain about, oh my God, I eat from like outside every day. I can't do that because I didn't have the money. So I had to it was hard because of course I'm in a foreign country by myself, and now I have to even let go of these people that I found as my friends.
Remind you of home a little bit, yeah.
And it was hard, I had to accept that I am okay with being by myself, and I am actually more powerful being by myself, and I don't need company to feel power. but yeah, it was just adjusting, and I was just always trying new things to learn how to survive. I was in survival mode, and that teaches you to always find solutions when you're the backup plan, because I was the backup plan for my family. So it's like I can't go to anyone and tell them like, oh, can you help me, because I am the help for my family. So yeah, it was very hard, but I never thought about it as hard when I was going through it. Looking back at it now, it's very heavy on the chest, because it's like, wow, I really did a lot of things. But when I was in it, I was like, it's fine. Solutions, let's just work. Okay, let's try new things. Let me learn. Let me talk my way. Let me learn better words. And I was listening to like motivational like podcast videos on the YouTube like all the time to just keep my mindset right.
Like that.
And I just did what I needed to do. I just never was a victim of anything that have happened in my life.
I love that. That's crazy. So when you came to Canada, you immediately started studying, right? So you were directly enrolled, and you were doing the jobs. You were like in the situation, like really facing it with pride, like not staying with the people that remind you of home. Like, you know, even if you could, like could have stayed with them, but you said no. Like I'm not this. Like I'm the same, but I'm not in the same situation. I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Listening to motivational. How did you start to listen to motivational stuff? Just like typing on YouTube? Was it like
literally motivation speeches on YouTube? And I was listening to like Tony Robbins. I wasn't a big reader. I think I started reading like a year after, but I was like, because again, I felt so lonely, right? I was like, I have no friends because I don't have time to even make friends. I was commuting like 3 hours a day back and forth because I went to university and then to my job. And then even with my job, it was barely cutting the bills. So I was like, I need to get another job. So now I was working 2 jobs, one after school from like 12 to 6, and then one from like 6:30 to like 11 p.m. So one was like a morning brunch place. The other one was like a serving at night. It was like a steakhouse. Well, multiple of them. But anyway, and then I would go home in the bus. And in the bus, I would study because I'm getting home at like 12:01. I need to sleep, wake up at like 6, go to school 8 a.m., finish class at 12.
So what were you studying? What did you enroll in?
Started as an engineer. I was like, what is this?
Why engineer?
Because
doesn't make sense for me.
Exactly. But I'm Middle Eastern. My dad was like, you either study something that will pay you a lot of money or you study something girly. So I applied for fashion, but they didn't accept me because you need like a portfolio, whatever. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, engineer, I guess. I'm gonna be, Arabs are like either engineer, doctor, or lawyer. And I'm like, engineer it is. And I tried it for like a semester and I'm like, ooh, I'm not gonna pass. So I switched to business, and that's where I was studying. But I dropped out.
Oh, you dropped out. Okay.
Last year, yeah.
So fast forward, dropping out, why? Because you started the business. And tell them a little bit about that. How long is like, give them the timeline from you came to Canada, you're now in the university, you're hustling these jobs, you're transitioning to business. Obviously, or I guess you're still continuing like on the shifts, working on the bus, studying, coming home. When does the business kind of the new version of Afnan start?
Okay, so came here literally to Canada 2016 August. Okay, I found a job and I started working like December 2016. From August to December, I was looking for jobs, and now no one would hire me because my English wasn't even that great. I started working the jobs, and I would literally change jobs every 2-3 months, every 2-3 months, every 2 months, until I found like a job that would pay me more money working less. I always believed in like work smarter. I don't want to work hard. I want to work smart. So that's why I became a waitress, because I'm like, wait, they can tip you if I go to a good restaurant that the food is expensive, so the bill is already high, so you tip. I'm like, ooh, this makes sense.
This is like a little bit like in America where they need to tip you, like it's kind of like
everyone tips there. Okay, so I didn't know that. So that was also like something that I learned there. One of my friends like, oh, you should be a waitress. I'm like, no, I should not. And he's like, no, you make way more than working a regular job. So I did make way more. Like I was working way less hours. Like I would work from. That's my last job because I really found a good job that tips you a lot. I was working at a Brazilian steakhouse, and I would work from like 5 p.m. to like 11, and not sometimes even like 6 to 11, and I would make like a day $200.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but again, I wouldn't work every day because they give you limited shifts, and I would work 3-4 days a week.
So now you have more
Now I
time
have
for
more time
studying, or what did you spend it
for
spend on?
studying, and I was also doing like hobbies on the side because I wanted to be a fashion stylist. That's another thing that was a lesson for me. I did it for free for a year because I was building my portfolio, building my clients, and I was just styling, like putting outfits together. And then one of my mentors was like, Afnan. So I was complaining how broke I am. And I'm like, but you know, fashion is my passion. Like that's what everyone says, like, you know, do what you're passionate about and you don't have to work day in your life. And I'm like, I'm doing what I'm passionate about, but it's not paying me anything. And even when I start getting paid, I looked at the numbers. Not a lot of people make a lot of money unless you're a celebrity stylist. And
So
that's
top one,
very
1%,
hard, like
yeah.
extremely hard to get. So I'm like, forget my passion right now, because that's not gonna pay me anything. I don't want passion. I want something that will make me rich within the next 2-3 years. And then now when I have the money, I can do whatever I'm passionate about, whether it's fashion, whether it's styling, whether it's, I don't know, opening a salon, whatever I'm passionate about. Because I understood that my passion is not gonna make me money fast. And I didn't wanna go through the struggle. So that's one thing that I had to learn, is like, forget my passion, time to work. Like, time to find the best thing that's happening this year, the best industry that's gonna literally have all, you know, the odds in my favor to be successful and make a lot of money. And that was network marketing and investing and trading.
Just quickly before we go into network, the question is why? Because you could have come to Canada, study,
Yeah.
you got some money from your dad, then you started to work. Why not just like continue to study, and then where does the dream come from, like, for more? Is it something that was implemented in your younger age through your father being an entrepreneur? Is it living in Saudi, having this big dream, going to Canada, Western world, like this kind of American Western story, like becoming a multimillionaire, something? Like, where does it come from, this desire?
Yeah. I think it's a mix of everything that you said. It was, I saw my dad was an entrepreneur. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I just always had it, but I always had like a small little ego in me. That's like, why am I working for X amount of dollars an hour? Because that was a shock when I came to Canada. They're like, oh, minimum wage is $12. I'm like, $12 an hour? I'm cute. If I go to the street and ask people that I forgot my wallet, they're gonna give me more than $12 an hour. I forgot my wallet. You'll see people just giving me money because I'm like, oh, she's cute. She's a nice girl. So I'm like, the math is not mathing, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of stuff, and here's what I think it all started. Throughout my whole life, I never fit in. With even my friends back in Saudi, I was always...
Now we're getting the nuggets. That's where I want to go to.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why so I ask this everyone that comes here, is like trying to find out, where does it come from? You know, some
Yeah.
people just have the self-esteem. Some people were just like that's something that many people say also in my team, my leaders, they always say, I was 11, 12, 13, 14, and I thought about myself like, I'm going to be a princess. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be taking care of my, like, somewhere, like, this is interesting.
Yeah. I just never fit in, like, between my friends back home, between, like, I was always different. I was always like, oh, Afnan is just different. Like, okay. And it's like, I felt it. Like, I would be with people and I would try to change who I am to, like, act like normal, like the regular girls that just want to talk about boys and like whatever. But deep down to my core, I just always felt like I don't belong here and I'm not happy. But I had to change myself to fit in at some age when I was a teenager. And then as I grew older, I just found peace with just being myself, and just being different is okay. I don't need to fit in with everyone, because I understood that everyone is broke and I didn't want to be broke. Everyone is not happy and I didn't want to be that. I just understood that it's a numbers game. You know, I love numbers, I love math. And I'm like, most people are broke and very few people are rich. Most people are miserable and very few people are happy. And I'm going to be one of those. So if I don't fit in and if I don't have, you know, friends or whatever, then that's fine. I would rather be rich and happy rather than just, knowing like a lot of people and just not being happy or rich.
So was it like you were more like an outsider?
Always felt like an outsider.
Okay. But did people listen to you, to your opinion? Was your opinion something that people followed when you were younger in general?
No.
Not?
No.
So like really like the outsider kind of character that you see in movies, for example, for some time.
Yeah. I just, how do I say it? It was like, I love what you just said. You said, like, was your voice heard? And I feel like that was one thing that drives me in network marketing. My voice was never heard. My opinions were not really important. I just never felt good enough. Although I didn't fit in, but I never felt good enough around a lot of people that were around me. Even with my family, I never felt like I was good enough for them because they liked the version of me that was in their head, not the real version of me. Because I was just not good, like, enough for them. And I feel like, you know, I took that trauma in network marketing, and we can talk about it later. And I just had to do more to almost like be accepted. And that led to doing a lot more and achieving a lot of success fast. Where now you found your actual people. That makes sense?
Makes sense, 100%. So another question when it comes to that is like, do you feel that coming to Canada, as you said, having like this dream view of how it's gonna be, then the reality is a little bit different for you, but teaches you a lot about life and business and starting off, and nowadays you having the inspiration to maybe, I would say, even you inspire a lot of people, obviously, especially women in the industry, that they can do it, right? Like, you are a trendsetter. You're also someone that's something that I saw from the first day. And don't get it in the wrong way, I'm going to explain, you have an attitude, but an attitude of like, you have an aura, you know, like when Afnan comes in, it's like Afnan comes in, like there's something that follows her, like the aura, like this kind of energy, this like, I know who I am, I know what I want, and everyone else, you know, F off if you are against that, if you're like, you have a presentation, a very strong presentation. Was it like that when you were younger too? Kind of, you had this attitude of like, I know what I want, I know where I want to go, you know, sometimes even an attitude where people would say, oh, that's too much, or it's like, you know, chill a little bit more? Or was it where you're hiding a little bit more that kind of part of yourself because you know it doesn't fit into the culture? Like, where does it come from? Where does the Afnan come from that always has a presentation on which, like, when you come in, there's a presentation, there's an aura, there's like energy, there's something, you know? Where does it come from?
I feel like I had it at some period of time, and then a lot of people were always telling me, Afnan, you're too much, Afnan, you're too loud, Afnan, you're too extra, Afnan, you dress so loud, like, just chill, like, calm down, you laugh this way, you talk this way, like, you just don't need to be all that. So I had to dim it down, because when we're younger, you're like, okay, well, maybe I am too much, maybe I am doing wrong. So I dimmed it, and I feel like when I started network marketing, I saw that people truly got attracted to me because of that. So that's when I started embracing it more.
So now, like, what would you say to people that have that personality? Because these are personality types that become very successful most of the times. But do you think still it's very important to still understand to fit in? Because let's say the younger version of yourself, you needed to understand that, okay, even though you are too much, you have this attitude, which in business is perfect because it builds the character, right? But back then, like, let's say the broke environment that surrounds you, they reflect, I would say they reflect their insecurities on you. Like, because Afnan is loud, she has the trust in herself to be loud and stand up for her voice. I'm not, so I'm gonna mock her about it, whatsoever. But would you still tell people that are starting off to learn to control it, because you need to know how to speak to people, or just be yourself all the time?
I truly believe that when you are yourself, you can, like, I mean, you can always be yourself, but also there's a time and place for everything. Like, I can't just be loud, laughing when it's like a setting that's not that, right? But in business, being yourself is very, very important. Whether you're someone who's more of an overthinker or someone who's more like the funny, you know, person, definitely use your powers and like have them work to your advantage in business. But also know that there's a time and place for everything, right? Sometimes, like, for example, I'm gonna give you an example. Like, in business, in network marketing, especially, for me, my personality, I love being the dominant person. I love being like Afnan show. I feel like sometimes it's like Afnan's world and people are just living in a world.
Afnan show, yeah. That's a perfect definition of what I was trying to explain. Yeah.
It's Afnan's world and everyone's participating in Afnan's world. But it's like, when I got into network marketing, it was like that in the beginning. And then I'm like, wait, it's not Afnan's world. I have so many leaders that I had to develop and put the shine not on me. I had to not even dim myself, just take the shine and put it on someone else for them to have the stage for that moment, for them to make more money, for them to feel more confident. So I had to learn that So it's like, that's what I'm saying. There's a time and place. So yes, I love being like, oh my God, Afnan. But it's like, it can't always be like that because that's selfish.
It's nice. You're already going into, that's really smart because you're already going into like the network leadership where we're starting now, because I still want to get the story. Why did you start? But it's so interesting. But yeah, so let's maybe make a cut here and go into this, like, okay, how did network marketing come into your life? How did it go in the beginning? Like, give people like an overview. I guess that's what a lot of people obviously are from network marketing or networkers listening to us, from your team, my team, other teams, and they are in the beginning. Like, how was the beginning for you? What was the struggle? Like, how did you get into it?
First of all, I wanted to get started, and I messaged my brother and I'm like, okay, I really want to do whatever you're doing. I did not know anything. Like, when I tell you investing, did not know. I thought Forex was some sushi roll. I did not know, like, literally nothing. Zero. But I just saw people making money and I really wanted to make money, period. I did not know what network marketing is, what MLM is. People were like, oh, well, is it a pyramid scheme? I didn't even know what pyramid scheme is. Like, I had zero clue about anything. I just wanted to make money, period. And then when I got started, Rokan was like, oh, here's how we put a Forex alert. He showed me and he's like, okay, go watch stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, just go watch stuff. And I'm like, what am I watching? And there was barely anything. Like, of course, IG, the platform that we're in, has way more stuff right now when I got started 4 years ago. And then I went to a presentation that Kane was doing, and he was explaining the packages, because that's when our compensation plan changed, and now we have elite package and whatever. And then I understood the numbers, and I'm like, wait, I need to hit the bonus pool, which is now the 6x6 and 12x12. And I told Rokan, I'm like, wait, I can make X amount of dollars, like 1% of 3% plus 1% of the company's total volume. That's a lot of money. Okay, perfect. And he's like, no one have ever done it yet. And it's your first month. Afnan, you won't be able to even sign up one person. Like, I'm like, oh. So one thing about my brother is he's very, very smart. He knows me. When you tell me you can't do it, I will make sure.
So
It's the Leo in us, right? It's like, oh, watch me. So I made sure, like, oh, you, and he's like, I think you're gonna quit within the first 2 months. I was like, oh, you're really testing me right now. So that's when I got really, really aggressive, and I went all in. I was still working, and then at my job, I would make like $100 in Forex on my demo account, and I would tell like all my people, I'm like, look, we just made $200. I made $100 on my phone, like, and then I would getting people interested. A lot of people thought it's a scam. A lot of people did not believe in investing. It was not as popular as it is today. But then I was just so confident because I saw people making money. Like, I saw all the top leaders making insane money that I've never seen before. Like, you would tell me 20K a month. I'm like, whoa, 20K a month? What do you do with 20K? Like, now 20K a month is like, I can barely pay my bills. We're struggling. But back in the days, it's like 10K a month. That was like the dream, you know? So I had so much belief because I saw all those people making money and speaking on stages, and I aspired to be that. So first month, I went all in. I was like, what can I do to make the most amount of money in all aspects, whether it's Forex, network marketing, talking about it to my friends. And I just wanted to make money fast. And I was just doing all the work. First month, I made $18,000.
It was the pools, right? You hit like.
It was the
but
pool.
It was double the pool.
But because I was the only person in the whole company hitting it.
It was 4 times the pool, right? Back then it was X4 and X8. No, so
X2 and X4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, crazy.
So I only had like 4 elites. It wasn't like the hardest. But I was the only person in the whole entire company actually selling elites. Because that's when I switched the compensation plan, and no one thought like, who's gonna pay $1,500? Now it's like the most popular package. Made a lot of money.
How did you market it? Was it already on TikTok?
No, we had no TikTok and we had no Reels. It was truly cold messaging and warm messaging everyone and sending voice notes and just telling girls that you should do what I do. Like, we were doing everything. We're doing ads, even on Instagram, ads on Facebook, but there was no Reels on TikTok. Like, today we have it so easy.
Because that's something that in your career, from an outstanding view, especially as a male, is something that you completely dominate, and you started a trend in the whole industry, not only in iGenius, but like in the industry of network marketing.
Yeah, that's one thing when it comes to adapting. We had to adapt. We saw an opportunity and we just jumped on it, and we got better at it the more we did it. And we just understood the power of going viral, reaching more people. But but it was all cold messaging, warm messaging, meeting people in person, taking contacts. It was like the real network marketing, not the hype, cute TikTok reels that we do today.
So you messaged How was the relationship in between you and Rakan in that time in business, or like not in business in general, but then how that, because I truly believe that. So if I see myself in this situation, you know, and I'm like, okay, my brother has a business. I don't know if I like, yes, I would message him, but at the same time, I would be like, I don't know, like, oh, he's also starting off, right? He wasn't like in the business for a long time at that time.
He did it for a year and a half, 2 years before me. But here's why I didn't believe in the beginning that he was making money. You want to know why?
Tell me.
I was a server. He was this big dog on stages, traveling the world. And he would like come to me and he's like, can I borrow $500? $500? I thought but he wasn't making six figures yet. But he was like, you know, this person that's always working. I'm like, yeah, sure, you can have $500. I'll make it in 2 days serving. So that's why I didn't believe that he was making money, which he was in the beginning. Rakan always talks about it. His first year was really tough.
All of us, same.
Yeah. So I just didn't believe. But before business, me and Rakan were not as close as we are today. We loved each other. We respected. We played like children when we were younger. But we weren't like close.
You had your life here.
I had my life that he didn't know anything about. He had his life that I didn't know anything about. When we started this business, we had a lot of, I wouldn't say fights, I would say arguments. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't need my mentor. I need my brother right now. Can I complain to you as my brother? And we had to almost like learn to say that. It's like, I'm not telling you something because I need you to solve my problem. I'm just telling you because I'm frustrated and I need to tell my brother.
So do you guys like, do you indicate it? Like, do you say, now I'm talking, like I want to talk
now
to you?
Now we do.
Yeah,
yes,
smart.
it's like, I don't need mentorship right now. I need you just to listen to me as my brother.
I love that.
Okay, but in the beginning, it was like, of course, I was not as personally developed. So I was like, why are you not listening to me? Why are you not understanding me? I hate working with you, And I never even asked for help. It was maybe like an ego, like I wouldn't ask for help. So and he knew I'm like independent. So I would just do my own thing, ask for help or like advice when I need it. But I just did my own thing.
I love that.
Yeah, with the girls that were in the team too.
Yeah. So when you say independent, also connecting the dots with, you said in the beginning something interesting that we didn't go into, but I want to go into now, is like growing up in Saudi, seeing how it goes over there, coming to Canada, but then also now connecting the dots. You know, you're connecting the dots to or back to Saudi, and you said something like it isn't like there's some good stuff there, like in like how you grew up, and then you're also like now in Dubai, and we were just talking off the podcast that you are planning to come here, and like give the people a little bit of an introduction on it, like an insight into your, let's say 1, 2, 3 points, major points, if you compare the East with the West, and you have been living in both, and like how is it, like what did you learn, like where do you like it more? Like give them like a little bit of like that kind of insight.
I like that question. I think a healthy mix between both is what worked for me and what I like. I feel like sometimes Middle Eastern culture is like, go to school just to have a cute degree, get married, have kids. You're just the wife and you live for your husband. And you don't have as much power because usually the man is the man providing fully. Now I feel like times are changing, but that's a Middle Eastern mindset. A lot of my cousins, they're like 2 years younger than me. They all are married. They all have children. They got married at like 21, 22. So I love that. I think, of course, I want to be married. I want to have children, and I want to be, you know, there for my husband and stuff. But I also love that the West teaches you that a woman should also have her power. She should be smart enough to make her own money. I'm not saying go work jobs that are exhausting, but this is why network marketing is very beautiful and investing, because you can do it beside your children if you truly want to stay with your children. And it teaches you that you should be a little bit independent. Not too much, a little bit, because you just never know. Like, I've seen a lot of women that stay in relationships and marriages, although they're abused mentally, physically, but because it's like, if I leave him, I have nowhere. I'm going to go back to my family's house. Who's going to marry me? And it's like they stay in situationships, marriages that are failing and then they're not happy with because they don't have that independence. They feel like I can't do something without my man. And I think that's very dangerous.
Yeah, that is.
So I think a healthy balance between both is I'm independent. I can still make my own money. I can live by myself and function. I'll be fine. But also I'm still a feminine woman. And I know the man's job is still to provide and lead. And I want to be with a man that, of course, is taking care of me and my children. I want to be a mom. But also knowing that I am powerful and, you can't dim my light.
So as you know, like I lead a lot of females, right? Like my organization is like, the organization, iGenius in general is like 80%.
What's funny though, when I started, it was all men.
Yeah.
And I remember I told them, I want to have like a girls team. And Kane and Rokan would laugh at us. They're like, oh, y'all want to have a modeling agency? I'm like, yes, I actually do.
It is a model agency.
I actually do. And then 4 years later, the company is mostly women, and it's very beautiful to see.
That's true, yeah. And obviously, you took a very big part in that. But the question, so leaders talking now, me leading a lot of females and them obviously being very successful, having boyfriends that they take into their new version, so from the past, so they have boyfriends where, for example, the boyfriend in the past was working, they were studying, now they become very successful, make more money than their boyfriends, travel more than and whatsoever, So this is the one scenario. And then the second scenario is how, because that's something that I see, not like business in general, right? And females in general, because they get told from the West, hey, be this empowering, independent woman. But at the same time, it's like they have struggles finding a man. They have struggles to find a relationship where they can really be feminine. They struggle like to combine this because I think one thing that is like what we need to talk about more, like, especially women like you that have the impact and are in the situation. Obviously, not a lot of people will be in the situation, but there are some people. How do they deal with this? Like, what is your guideline? How do they deal with them being independent, successful? Like, then also the age, like they're getting older, they're building up their career. Then they're like, let's say 27, 28, 29. Then finding like how, like, I think as a woman, that's something that would break my head at that. If I would say I'm female right now and I have the success that I have, I'm where I am in my life, like I would be like, shit, like how do I do this?
I think that's a very important topic for a lot of me and my successful female friends. We talk about it all the time and it's a big topic. But what I've learned, I feel like over the past year, it takes a powerful man to lead a powerful female. And even if the man is not making, for example, as much money, but you see he maybe has the potential, he has the ideas, he has the work ethic, you see that he will go places. For me personally, for me, that's fine, right? Now, of course, a lot of women are like, well, I want a man that makes more than me. Of course, I do too, because I feel like I will trust his decisions. But again, it takes truly a powerful man to be able to have a powerful woman that has been independent and makes her own money, to be submissive, to follow his lead, to follow and trust that he will take me places, because I've taken myself places. So you need to take me also to good places if I'm following your lead. So I think it's a part on both sides. And it also takes a woman to slowly start tapping into her feminine energy. And it's like leave work masculine energy, because what we do is masculine, right? Leading teams, doing calls, empowering.
Creating energy, yeah.
That's a lot of masculine, right? And that's good. That works for business. But we gotta learn as women to leave that masculine energy outside the house or outside the relationship and be just a feminine woman with the man.
But how do you do it? Like, obviously you need to have a man that puts you also into this energy.
Yeah.
But like, let's say, so you're smashing Zoom calls all the time. You're on team calls. You are doing podcasts. You're doing here, this. Is it like more like, how do you go into your feminine energy? Because the easiest way to explain for me how I see feminine energy is being, right? Masculine is creating, feminine is being. How do you tap into your being energy? What do you do?
I like it. So one thing that I started doing this past year is, even throughout my Zoom calls, I'm doing small things that let me just be. Like taking, a small bath and just relaxing, doing things that just girls love doing, like putting makeup on. It just reminds you like, okay, and first of all, being also okay with not doing anything and just being still. because we're nurturers, we're loving, reading books, listening to like soft music, small things like that do help you tap into more the feminine energy. But that's what I do. Like just the girly stuff. You know, it's okay to be girly. It's okay to just be like, you know, there's like a TikTok that says, I'm just a girl. Like I just want to do like stupid stuff and small little things that men don't understand. Doing those small things to just remind yourself that, wait, I'm a girl and I love hustling, but I love just being a girl. And I love just being a woman and just
I think that's very, very important, especially when nowadays with. So I see you, especially as I said, you as a trendsetter for females in network marketing and also like changing the whole Forex kind of game. Because still people nowadays, what I know, even from other companies, they would say like, do the TikToks like Afnan, you know, like that's what they say still. I'm pretty sure, and I know it. I've been talking to some of them. But so you become a trendsetter and you help the market, especially Forex, cryptocurrencies, like currencies in general, and trading, which is a male-dominated, 4 years ago, completely male-dominated industry. No women try to even get into, like they obviously there's only men, they don't want to get into it. But so you come in, you change the place, and many women join, and now it's like a complete opposite thing. It's like we have more females than males. Obviously, females tend to be more on the networking side, on the marketing side, males more on the trading and that kind of side. When it comes to the trading, investing and side, so for the people that are listening for the first time, you are a presidential ambassador in iGenius. You are making good amounts of money. Is there, first of all, so 2 questions. Do you have other businesses where cash flow comes in? If you can disclose, and what do you do with the second part, trading, investing? What do you do on that side?
I actually have no other businesses. Maybe in 2024, I have a couple ideas, but I truly believe in focusing on one thing, mastering it, growing it to a whole new level, and then doing things else. So I haven't reached that part yet. Maybe when I hit ground soon, we'll get there. Listen, I've made a lot of money, and once someone that did not have money make a lot of money, they want to spend it in crazy way because you think you don't deserve it. So I think I went through that phase where I went, you know.
Wait. So you want to spend it because you think you don't deserve it?
Yes. I went through that phase when I started making money because it was coming so easily. It's like, wait, why y'all paying me all this much money? That's insane. What did I do? Like that's
for TikToks.
A month you're paying me that much? I didn't even make that a year. You're paying me that a month. So it's like it's money, and it's like I just want to spend it because subconsciously I just think I don't deserve it. Like I didn't put as much effort because we're wired from when we're younger. Work hard so you can make money, like physical effort. And network marketing is not physical; it's more emotional and mental. But anyway, so I would just spend it like when I started making money, like 2020 and 2021. $60,000 spree at Chanel, at Dior, just like crazy. But now I have learned that, and that the past year and this year, I'm more into investing, right? I think 2024 will be huge for crypto. So all my money is going into crypto and investments. The goal is to make 10 million in 2024.
Nice.
I'm putting it out here so we can all hold each other accountable. But yeah, I'm gonna truly just like forget luxury. Yes, I love first class, but forget all of that. I'm gonna try my best to live a very minimal life, but also make a lot of money from network marketing, from investing to reinvest into a lot of the crypto. So that's my game plan for 2024.
So now it's more like the era of not looking rich, like being rich.
Actually being rich. Like it's cute to look rich, but I really want to have, not even rich, I want to have wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then 2024, I feel like at the end, I want to start getting into real estate. I felt like 2023 was not the best year to get into real estate, especially like living in America and Canada, you know, recession, whatever, interest rates, all that crazy stuff. Eventually, of course, getting into real estate, I want to have a lot of stuff when it comes to real estate. I love real estate, but I just love investing because once you start understanding that your money can truly work for you without your effort, it's such a powerful, game-changing, like, just game because you're like, wow, I don't really need to work hard. I can truly be a lazy, paid girl. But it takes mastering. And I'm grateful for our genius that, you know, they're telling us what to invest in, whether it's in crypto, whether it's in the financial markets. So tap into that. But also just know that most of my money that's coming into the investing is coming from the network marketing side. So people are like, oh, well, I'm just going to invest. Well, how much money do you have to invest? Make the money from network marketing, help others, put people on, and reinvest that and make a lot of money. Because there's a difference when you invest $1 million or just $10,000.
I kind of felt when I started to make money, I also started to spend it. Like kind of this, you always, you have this like, at the end of the day, stupid picture of what it means to make a lot of money and be rich, like spending and having like these nice designer new money, correct? and then you kind of go through that phase and you're like, okay, let me actually be like wealthy, like let me build up something. And nowadays, I just like an example, like a couple of hours ago, was on my computer hustling, trading, blah blah. Market's not really doing anything, so I'm getting bored, and I'm like, let's check out some cars. And I'm like, bro, I could get this car right now, right? And then I'm like, but if I buy it now or I put it in crypto, I'm not losing the $200,000. I'm losing potentially 2 or 3 million over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So every time I'm like, I want to buy something, like shit, this could be like 200,000, 2 million, 5 million. I'm like, no, I cannot do this.
That's like literally the struggles of being just an investor, because you're like, I know too much.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so much information.
And then you look back to your old self and like, shit, how like.
Why did I spend that much? Like, why did I spend 60K on just shopping? I could have reinvested that, but yeah,
it's an important phase for new money people as to just
so it can eventually become old money, because that's the goal.
True, 100%. So so you said you have real estate. So I asked you if you have other businesses. You said no. Main cash flow business, iGenius. Focusing a lot on reinvesting. Crypto is the go place because it has, I guess, for you, as I think, the most potential in the next years.
Yeah.
And then real estate. Why real estate? Like, why do you want to add something else? Or like, is it?
I feel like real estate has been stable investment over the years. It's been stable. It's something that there's a lot of money. People think just buying real estate, just buy a house and like keep it. But there's a lot of things. Like I have a lot of people in real estate that are making millions of dollars, but they know what to do with that real estate. It's not just like buying. So I definitely want to have, I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. I want to have passive income from other things other than, of course, iGenius. And yeah, I truly believe in real estate, of course. Like it's not going anywhere. We always want to live somewhere. We always will have real estate. So
yeah, so real estate, so just I make sure everyone understands it, and me too, is like you don't want to sell real estate, you want to invest into real estate.
Oh no, I'm not trying to be a real estate agent. Oh hey, let me take a sip of water. No, that's
no, because at the beginning I understood it wrong. I'm like, why do you want to, like, I didn't think about that part, but yeah, because network marketing is just like, if you compare it to real estate, like I don't want to front anyone, but
whoa, network marketing is way easier and you can make way more money. I mean, I know a lot of real estate agents, but it depends on the market. It's too competitive. Just no. Investing in real estate, that's where the real money is.
Love it. So that's like kind of your investment game plan and where you want to go. When it comes to Dubai, if you want to disclose and talk about it, what is your game plan with that?
So y'all heard it here first. My mom is gonna yell at me when she sees this. I gave my notice for my loft in Canada that I love so much. I just sent my realtor a message. I'm like, I'm giving my 2 months notice. She's like, what? How? Why? When? Because we're also friends. And I'm like, I just feel like here I am exposed to more money. Like there's money in the streets, so you're inspired to actually think that, you're not that rich. Because in Canada, I'm like, I think, I'm like so rich. And I come here and it's like there's a Rolls Royce every other car. And it's like a normal car to drive. It's not even that crazy. So I'm like, okay, I need to be around that because that will motivate me and let me like not think I'm so rich, because I'm not compared to all those people. And the network, the people, I love how Dubai is a religious country. And of course I am religious too, so I feel like just being closer to God is very important to me. No taxes, safety, cleanliness, the weather. Where do I start? Right? I know it's gonna be a very hard decision for my family. And don't get me wrong, when I texted my real estate agent, I was kind of scared. I'm leaving across the world as a girl by myself, but I'm like, I'm 25, I'm single. This is the time where you do those things and try things, because that's how you grow. I truly believe it.
I love that. I've been, just came back to Dubai a week ago. You were already in Dubai. I start to see your stories and I'm like, this just fits, bro. It just makes sense, you know?
Everyone's saying that.
Yeah, 100%, bro. It just makes sense. And then I'm like, and then we're starting the podcast and stuff. Like, I'm like, anyways, I always wanted to talk to you. I just said in the beginning, before you started podcast, I actually told Afnan, I love this podcast because it's like when can you really sit together and like have an hour with anyone interrupting you, just talking about things. And I always ask stuff that I asked Stefan what I'm interested in about him, Tino, now you, because we saw so many times all over the world, like we saw us
How
in
many
Mexico
events?
and events and all, but like there's never really time to really connect and talk.
Yeah.
So I love that. But with that being said, like seeing you in Dubai, and I'm like, okay, we need to do this podcast, and it's just like it fits. It just makes so much sense with Dubai. And then also what you said with you coming from Southeastern, then Western, and then like connecting this, and then like you said, like there's good and bad in both sides, but the in between is good, and that is Dubai, or not?
That is Dubai. You're
Dubai,
right. It's
the
a
middle.
healthy mix,
Yeah,
especially if you know where you're hanging. Of course, like every place there is like the bad sides, but you're right.
Yeah,
Dubai is the healthy
it
mix.
takes the best from the West, and it still keeps the best from the East, I would say. I love it over here. So what is the future after moving here and everything? What is the future game plan for Afnan? Like if you say, okay, that's how my next 5 years should look like, give me like an idea.
Where do I start?
What do you want to manifest?
Well, I'm manifesting me being married within the next 2 years. I am manifesting having $100 million in my bank account.
Nice.
Well, not in the bank. It depends what bank.
That's also the number that I have in my mind.
But just there. I'm manifesting having just beautiful relationships all across the world of people that we genuinely care about each other. I'm manifesting having a big empire of women and men that are making insane amount of money because I paved the way for a lot of these people. And yeah, just really, truly being happy, at peace. You know, I feel like the more we've both made a lot of money. And it's like the more you make money, you're like, okay, I love money and money is a great tool. But I also value my happiness and good relationships and peace. So these are like the 4 things that I want in life. Yeah, I don't want a lot, but I also want a lot in life. So
I like that.
Just getting everything that I want in life. Maybe become an actor. I really want to be an actor. I've always wanted.
You had your own TV.
I had my own reality episode.
Okay.
It's like they followed me for the day. It's like, what Afnan do in a day? It was cute.
Crazy. So that's the beginning of it. Yeah, because you have a lot of this creative touch. Like I heard a lot of times when you started to talk about, like you said, like not modeling, how do you say it? The fashion styling and then like the actress kind of thing. So that's I see you there, 100% there.
Soon.
Love it. Give the people just like quick question, quick answer in terms of for them to like mentorship. What impacted you? What is the book that impacted you the most?
Ooh. In the beginning of my career, what really have helped me really be a good, 2 books that helped me be very good with people and then sell a lot of, well, we don't sell, we recruit, but very similar. I love the book Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. It really taught me how to get what I want in life. Because you're either selling or you're being sold to every single day. And that doesn't have to be monetary. It can be just even in relationships, friendships, business partnerships. And I love how to win and influence friends. Both books truly just teach you how to get your way in life without being in people's faces and being aggressive.
I also feel most people are so dull when it comes to communication, just in general in life. This is like they need to read this book. Especially when
you just need to communicate in like every area in your life. So these are the 2 books that I would recommend. And I'm just going to leave the podcast people with this. 2024 is going to be a very huge year for a lot of people, and it will be a very horrible year for a lot of people. I think
year of exposure. That's what I'm always saying.
Yeah, I like that. I like the year of exposure.
I'm talking about it all the time.
I like that. I'm gonna start saying that. Yeah, so it's gonna expose a lot of people. Some people are gonna make a lot of money. Some people are gonna make way less money because I think recession is happening. I think the world is going to a lot of places. But the people that have the right tools, vehicles, and they truly put your head down. Like 2024, okay, 2023, okay, we played, we joked around. 2024, it is game time. It is business time. It is just spend the next 2 years truly going all in, and it will truly make a big difference in your business and in your life. Because 2024 and 2025, with how crypto is moving, with how business, the world will be selling what we talk about, which is crypto. So as people in our platform, you don't even have to sell or convince people. You just got to show them that we have a better platform and it is the best out there that will teach you how to make money in these financial markets. So go crazy, go all in. If you're not in iGenius yet, get started. I don't know what y'all doing. Best platform. And yeah.
Loved it. Afnan, appreciate it so much. It was an insane hour. It was very nice to get to know you finally better after we knowing each other since, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. Never really like you getting deep into the talks. And I guess there was a lot of nuggets for the people. We definitely going to have another episode from my side. Now, when you move to Dubai, then we can just live in the studio anyways
and just
create
record
content.
every day. I love it.
I love it. Perfect. Thank you, Afnan. Guys, thank you for listening. And if you want to find out more about Afnan, everything is down in the description. And with that being said, guys, these were a lot of nuggets. Get them and use them. And it's the year of exposure. You know what you need to do. Let's go.